Is the American dream now priced at $100,000? That's the big question shaking up families, workers, and immigrants in the US. And today we are cutting the noise and whether the dream is still worth chasing. And to break it all down, I am joined by top two immigration attorneys, attorney Poonam Gupta from New York and attorney Chand Parvataneni from Texas. Hi, attorneys. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Rajni.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being here. And Nipasa, I'd request you to please go ahead and.
Sure, Rajni. And folks, thank you so much, each one of you, for joining us here on Immigration Talk Show. Do join us in conversation if you have any questions, especially, in today's discussion. $100,000 for an H-1B fee. It's crazy. And what it really means for Indians. Please share with us what you think. And absolutely, I think we should, without further ado, go on with today's discussion. Really happy to see you both, Chand and Poonam. Thank you for joining us today.
Happy to Thank be you, here. Nipasa.
So my first question, I think ladies first. So let's go on to Poonam. In legal terms, what exactly does the new $100,000 H-1B fee mean? Is it rumor or reality?
So it is actually a reality. The president issued a proclamation and signed it into law on Friday, September 19th in the evening. And what it indicates is that effective this past Sunday, the 21st, anyone who is applying to enter the country in H-1B status must pay the $100,000 fee. There was a lot of confusion about whether people who were in transit or who were, unable to get to the U.S. by Sunday would be subject to this fee or not. But from what we've seen over the last couple of days is that people who were already in H-1B status were not impacted, and various agencies have issued guidance on what that means. And everyone has consistently said that this only applies to new H-1B petitions filed after September 21st, and also to those individuals who are currently outside the US, not physically in the US. There's still a lot that is unclear, but in short, that is what the law is right now.
Thank you so much for answering the question, Poonam. John, I would like to come to you. Before we talk about the consequences of this decision, I would actually like to ask you that why do you think this administration took such a decision? Because this is the first time, something like this has been announced. And I'm pretty sure, everybody was shocked, not just immigrants living in the US, but the families of those immigrants living everywhere, because that's a very huge price to pay. And earlier it was, I think, from $2,000 to $5,000, and now it has been $100,000. So why do you think such a decision was taken? I'm so sorry, but I would like to extend my question a little bit because, the administration said that it was taken to save the American workers. So do you think that was really the reason? Or what do you think the reason was?
Sure. So this news, when it first was broken by Bloomberg Friday afternoon, initially I thought probably it's a joke. Maybe it's just a rumor. That was Friday afternoon. And President Trump, he has just come back from a trip from London. He just came back from a London trip. And 2 hours down the line at 4 o'clock, around 4 o'clock CST, Central Time, we saw it on the TV. The president was signing the proclamation. So it kind of came in very, very quick. And when we saw the reasoning, I think the reasoning they gave was compared to these other majors. When we look at the computer science majors, the technology majors, they're seeing a lot more unemployment for the fresh graduates. They're almost seeing like 7% to 8% unemployment. And when they compare it with the other fields, this is a little bit higher. At least that was the reasoning that was given. And I think, unfortunately, what is happening is there's a lot of IT layoffs that have been happening in the last 1 year, maybe because of this AI shift. There are so many things happening. And they probably used some statistics, and they used that to argue that if we do something about the H-1B program, maybe it will get the unemployment numbers a little bit better for the fresh graduates. And what I think is happening is, yes, there is a problem because I am honestly seeing fresh graduates. It has become very challenging for them to find jobs. So there is a problem out there. Unfortunately, they use that as a reason to say that if we put a $100,000 fee, it's going to fix that problem. I don't know how true it is, but unfortunately, there are two problems right now, which I see. Yes, the fresh graduates are in some challenging times with all this AI and all these things coming up and taking away jobs. At the same time, H-1B is actually contributing to the innovation. It is actually creating jobs. So I think they're trying to solve a problem by creating a problem. So I think, again, when there is a problem, you take time and you probably need some more time, which is why we have the APA, the rule-making process, all these processes which have some time that needs to be spent, see what is going on, take some public comments. Normally, that's how things are done. And executive orders are used typically to direct federal agencies to do whatever the Congress intended. So normally the Congress passes laws and the president, he enforces the laws. So executive orders are not typically used for these kind of things, because sometimes the Congress is probably in a better off spot to pass laws, especially these kind of things. So I think this rule was passed in a hurry. I don't know whether it is right or wrong, because the justification they are giving, yes, it's a true problem, but I don't think this is the solution.
Okay. Poonam, I would like to actually come to you and ask you that, like Chan said, that they are solving a problem by creating a problem. So what do you think the consequences are going to be? Do you think it will actually solve a problem, or maybe create a ripple effect and, cause a big problem?
So it'll definitely have a huge ripple effect. It's not, actually, I would not even call a ripple. I think it'll be a tsunami, frankly, because
It looks like it.
I mean, not only going to impact the smaller H-1B employers, even the larger H-1B employers, the FANG group. Do you think the Googles and the Apple and the Meta and Amazons of this world, they are able to pay 100K per employee? They have thousands of employees on H-1B. They don't want to lose their bottom line. I mean, everyone's, focused on the bottom line. And this is not a fee that is sustainable for any company, big or small. In terms of unemployment numbers and so on, sure, the unemployment numbers are higher, but the percentage of US workers within the STEM fields is so small that I don't think it truly is impacting those individuals as much as it is impacting the fresh graduates, foreign graduates from schools. They are the ones that need sponsorship. And from what I'm seeing, employers are not sponsoring. There are, like, even for whether it's fresh graduates or long-term people who are here on H-1B for long. And layoffs is not impacting just US workers. They're impacting people on H-1B too. The number of people on H-1B that have been laid off since COVID has not dropped. It only keeps increasing. And AI, I think, has made the situation worse. This just adds another layer of uncertainty and another layer of complexity for companies to continue to do business in the United States. The bigger companies have the capacity and the ability to shift their resources in other countries. And I cannot, I'm not speaking for any specific company, but most companies, from a practical perspective, will have to look at options outside the US. The whole agenda of bringing manufacturing and bringing jobs to the US, I think this is actually going contrary to that. It's going to move jobs and talent, critical talent, outside the US.
Okay, wow. I think thank you so much for answering the question, Poonam. And I can see a lot of people, joined us, and they are also posting their questions on the comment section. So we'll be taking those questions in a bit. Before I think Nipasa has a few other questions that she would like to ask. So over to you, Nipasa.